Welcome to Advent of Tessellations 2023. I'm Madonna Yoder, and I hope you will join hundreds of origami folders around the world in folding this daily challenge to increase your origami tessellation folding skills, so the twists and repeating patterns folded all from a single sheet of paper. All right, welcome back to day 10 of Advent of Tess. This is the first day with rhombus twists. And I just want to point out before we start that this piece is incredibly similar to day 6. So if I orient it the same way here, it's got exactly the same hexagon, exactly the same outline of stuff around the hexagon. It's just that instead of triangles, we have a second half to the twist as well. So it's the rhombus twist is like two closed triangles fused together, or I should say the closed rhombus twist is, and that's what we're going to be folding today. So starting off, we're going to have our closed hexagon twist, just like we've been doing the last few days. And I'm going to go ahead and get that twist in place on the paper. Notice that if I'm folding at full speed, this is moving a lot faster than you may be folding, and that is perfectly fine. So here again, we're going to bop it, grab it, twist it, or use whatever method you prefer to get your hexagon down and in place. And I will say that twist move must be fast. This does not twist slow. The faster you twist, the cleaner it will look at the bottom. So after the hexagon, we're going to have our tube pleat spacing with our valley one spacing after the existing folded mountain. Our mountain one space after that. Now, what we have in this particular tessellation is, this particular arrangement of twists is a mountain coming from the center that is the through line of the rhombus. Now, if you want to know more about the through line of the rhombus, go check out the video I made on twists used in Advent of Tess. But we've got this mountain that is the through line that is continuing straight through, and that's going to be the one coming from the hexagon. And so when I pick up, I'm not erasing that mountain anymore. I'm outlining a central diamond, these grid triangles on either side of the through line. And by the way, the grid triangle on this side is the same one that we would choose for an open triangle twist. So I'm outlining this central diamond with a grid line that's going in the same direction as my tube pleat grid line, but it's one spacing off on the grid. So I'm setting this up and squashing my rhombus twist. Now here's the part where the skills from the triangle days are coming back to us. As I go to the next pleat, and I'm going to choose to go in a clockwise direction because that next twist is going to be on the opposite side of the paper. As I rotate over there, I'm going to find my valley and my mountain. I can even mark, okay, this is going to be one side of that central diamond. I can mark my through line as well. I'm bringing up all of these. As I open the pleat from the hexagon, I'm finding that parallel pleat, one spacing off, that outlines the central diamond. And it is running into this pleat from the previous rhombus, and it's running into that pleat at a 120-degree angle in here. And so what we're going to do is let this new mountain be an edge that we wrap the previous pleat over. So this is the triangle wrap from the first few days of Advent of Tess showing up again. And we can get that wrap in place and squash our new rhombus twist. So what we don't want to do in this situation, so I'll show now what we do not want to do. We do not want to lift this and run our new mountain all the way to the corner of the previous rhombus. We want to leave that valley in place. The new mountain will end at the point where it reaches the next valley. So that's a single connected mountain in there. And what's going to happen is the valley of that pleat is going to hit the valley of the next pleat, and that's going to be the three-way intersection. Now notice where that pops into place. And we can squash our new twist and continue around in exactly the same way. So if you need it slower, go back to those previous repeats. And notice this time around, I have some extra pleats that I'm running into. I'm going to arbitrarily choose to run this new pleat through first. And notice I'm setting this up, getting the triangle wrap, and I'll let the oldest pleat come through at the end, kind of locking that in place. This is a somewhat arbitrary way of doing things. But one thing that I know is I'm about to open that back up, and it's going to be easiest to open this oldest rhombus pleat if I had reordered that. So the alternative would have been to have it this way, and then when I go to open it up, I need to reorder it anyways. So on this last rhombus, I'm going to need to pay special attention to where my valley fold is going for the tube pleat. It's going to come out on this grid line, one space from the folded mountain, and it's going to cross the existing mountain and go down one more spacing down until it hits that next valley. Then it's going to split and make a three-way intersection. So what's happening is I'm popping this valley down so that the mountain here does not cross it. And then I'm making my three-way intersection of valleys with the three-way intersection of mountains on top of that, and making sure that I'm not crumpling up everything in here while I do so, so I can bring up the rest of that rhombus twist and do the wrap that we've been doing on the other side of it. Lay all the pleats down in the appropriate orientations and squash the rhombus. Now, one thing that I didn't say explicitly is as the through line goes through the twist, the valley switches sides. So we started out with that hexagon with the valley above the pleat, above the mountain on the right hand side. Now with the rhombus on the far side of the hexagon, the valley will be below the mountain on the right hand side. If you've got the rhombus shapes, you're already right. It's just if you're having trouble figuring out where that last mountain needs to go, then you can use that tip. So from here, we've got these 6 pleat overlaps. I'm going to flip over and take these triangle wraps. They have 1 free pleat each. I'm going to flip that free pleat up so that we have a tube coming out this way as well. And then rotate to the next and do the same and the same and the same and the same and the same. So we left all of these triangle wraps for the end. And like I've mentioned in some of the other days' videos, this is something I would only do on the centermost repeat. If I'm working with more repeats, I'm always going to flip the paper over, resolve the triangle wraps, resolve the pleat overlaps as soon as they come up. And there we have day 10 of Advent of Tess. If you use the densest repeat symmetries, you're going to get a pattern that I call Sawtooth that was around long before I started folding origami tessellations. But there are so many ways to continue folding from this starting structure that are not exactly that pattern. And so there's a huge range of variability that you can check out in the short video that I'll also be releasing today. So happy folding, everyone, and see you for the next day of Advent of Tess.